dream my 5-year-old nephew had. Now, you gotta get the context of this dream, right? A year after this dream, parents were divorced, so there were dragons in the house. He was about 4 at this time. He was running around the house with this little plastic knight helmet on and a sword. He was zipping around killing things with it. Doing this all the time. And even when he went to sleep at night, he'd put the sword by his pillow, knight helmet on his pillow. Now, every night, or every second night, or every third night for 6 months, he'd been waking up screaming. So I was there one night when he woke up screaming. Next morning I said, well, did you dream anything? And so he launched into this story. He said he was in this field and these little creatures, like dwarves, were coming up to him and they didn't have any arms, they just had legs. They had big beaks and they were covered with hair and grease, and on top of their head was a cross. And there's lots and lots of these dwarves and they were jumping on him with their beaks, biting him. We all looked at him and thought, well, it's no wonder you're waking up screaming, right? I mean, you know, that doesn't sound so good. And then he said, well, wait, there's more, right? Back in the distance, there's a dragon. You might as well go after the dragon. Go after the dragon. You might as well go after the dragon. Go after the dragon. And the dragon is puffing out fire and smoke. Fire and smoke. Fire, fire and smoke. And every time it puffs out fire and smoke, it turns into these dwarfs. Big problem, right? Just like the problem with the Hydra in Greek mythology. Cut off one head, 7 more appear. What are you going to do about these dwarfs? Kill one, big deal. 10 more are coming. What can you do about that? In a legal trial, that would have been an inadmissible question. That's called leading the witness. Because what I told him was, despite the horror of this situation, you maybe could do something about it. And he said, I'd take my sword, I'd get my dad. That's a good idea, right? There's the real dad, and then there's the tradition dad, right? You might as well have your father by your side if you're going to go into battle. I'd take my sword, I'd get my dad, I'd go to where the dragon was. I'd jump up on his head, I'd poke both of his eyes out with the sword, I'd go down his throat to the place where the fire comes out, I'd cut a piece of that box out, and I'd use it as a shield. Wow! That's unbelievable! Unbelievable that he could do that. Perfect, right? There's no sense going after the dwarves, because thousands of them. You might as well go after the dragon. Go after the dragon. You might as well go after the dragon. Go after the dragon. What happens if you go after the dragon? You get a piece of it. A piece of its center nature. A piece that can defend you against anything, including other dragons. What if this was the case, evolutionarily speaking or religiously speaking? What if we were adapted to the world? You know, what if it's not the simple place of dead objects that we think it is? What if it's something a lot more alive, a lot more like a story? What if the story is something like this? You have absolutely everything you need, but you have to use all of it. If you run away from any of it, you don't get that piece of the dragon. If you miss even one piece, there's a chink in your armor. There's a place where you're vulnerable. If you make even one mistake, you lessen yourself. If you lessen yourself, you're going to run away more. Not only that, when someone wants to lean on you, they're not going to be able to lean on you because you'll just fall over. What if it was the case that we were adapted to the world, really adapted to it, so that if we made full use of all the talents we had, we'd be okay? What if it was the case that if we set out consciously to never run away from something we know we shouldn't run away from, that everything would be all right? Well, you can think whatever you want to think, but this is what I think. I think it's bloody amazing that that little kid's book had all that information in it. And so you might ask yourself, if that information isn't true, how the hell did it get there?